We're mobile. Take Fox Sports 1350 with you using iHeartRadio. It's the IE's home for sports. KPWK AM 1350, Riverside, San Bernardino, an iHeartRadio station.
Yes, we are back in the great city of Riverside at the iHeartRadio studios. IE Sportsnet brought to you by the good folks over at ThinkWise Credit Union. IE Sportsnet on Fox Sports Radio AM 1350. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, you know the conversation starts and stops here. We're also streaming at foxsports1350.com, the iHeartRadio app. And starting on November 29th, we will be on Fox Sports West. Can I say that one more time, Eternal?
Yes, go ahead, man.
Starting on November 29th, we will be on Fox Sports West. Everybody in the Inland Empire, don't worry. We're going to take the Inland Empire with us when we make that transition to Fox Sports West.
Yes, indeed. We do have a caller calling in on the ThinkWise Celebrity Be Heard hotline. Caller, you're calling in on Fox Sports Radio AM 1350. Please introduce yourself to the Fox Sports Radio audience.
Hi, everybody. This is Larry Gonzalez. I'm the Chief of Police of Riverside Police Department.
There it is right there. Mr. Gonzalez, thank you so much, sir, for taking out the time. I know you're extremely busy, and we do appreciate you taking out the time to talk to us a little bit today. First things first, how you doing out there?
I'm doing okay. We're, dealing with all the issues in 2020, but as far as the city of Riverside, we're moving along okay.
Indeed. Now, you have a unique story because not only are you the Chief of Police in this great city of Riverside, but you have a sports background. The Dodgers just recently came out and they won the chip and haven't won that chip. I mean, what year was that, Coach B?
1988. I was in the 8th grade. I was a young lad.
Kirk Gibson. I mean, I still remember the great Kirk Gibson home run. I mean, that's part of the fabric here on the West Coast. But you're unique because you have a pitching background. Talk to our audience a little bit about your part because you've actually made it to the bigs, and so talk to our audience about your process in terms of you being a pitcher and how far you've gotten.
Well, I was not in the big leagues. I'll clarify that. You made me feel really old when you said you were in 8th grade the last time they won the World Series.
You made it AAA. I mean, to me, that's the bigs.
I was a minor leaguer. I was a single-A pitcher from 87 to 91.
Okay.
I got drafted. I was an 11th round draft pick by the Dodgers in 87. So I think I've talked about my minor league career more in the last couple months than I have in the last 20 years, just because the Dodgers won. The last time they won, I was actually employed by them.
Wow! Think about that.
In the minor leagues.
Yeah. Now, you have this unique story because you're local in terms of Inland Empire, but because you went to, if I'm correct, you went to high school at Don Lugo. Is that correct?
Correct. Don Lugo High School.
Yeah. So I mean, so clearly your motive was to play baseball. Talk to us how you went from baseball pitching to now being the Chief of Police.
Well, I got drafted in 87. I was still 17 years old, and at the time, my mother wasn't going to let me sign. She hasn't signed a contract with me, because I wasn't 18 yet. But when the Dodgers actually ended up drafting me, it was like, wow, what are the chances of your home team drafting you? So
right.
I played, and I got released from them in 90, and then I signed with the Tigers in 91. When I got released with Detroit, I thought, it's crazy. At 21 years old, I thought, man, I'm old. I need to find a real job. So, my stepfather was a police officer. He was a lieutenant with the Anaheim Police Department. I always found it interesting, intriguing, because you've grown up, you always think, well, I'm just going to be a big league baseball player.
Right.
And then when that doesn't happen, and, people ask, what happened? Did you get hurt? I said, nope. it's just a tough business, man,
right.
to make it. But I wanted to find something challenging, something that's very similar to sports, and that is police work. It really is. There's so many similarities between playing sports and being a police officer. The camaraderie's there. You grow up in locker rooms. You get back in the locker room again. Like I said, it's competitive sometimes. You want to do it, and it's something different every single day.
And your story is very unique to mine. We do the IE Heroes, and we want to humanize police officers and show them you're humans just or you're people just like you and me. And your story is unique to mine because my stepfather was a police officer, and I was exposed to the world of being a police officer. To me, growing up, he was just my stepfather. And that's one of the things that people just have to know. But there is a great story about you. You started off as an officer, and you're the first inside chief. You worked your way up to being a chief from a officer. It took 20 years, but you were an officer and you worked your way up to the chief. Talk to us about that story.
Yeah, that was unique. The last 20 years, we've had outside chiefs come in, and you know what? It all depends on where the department is at that time, and you know, probably rightfully so. We needed outside chiefs at certain times. The last chief, Sergio Diaz, left us. I think he left his department in really good shape, so it allowed me to have the opportunity to step in to be the chief, and that isn't always the case. You know, if your department's in turmoil, or there's some drama going on in your city, then they're going to look for a change. They're going to need, you know, to change the culture, you know, be a change agent, you know, so to speak. And in this case, like I said, it was left in good hands, I think, with me being there, but it had a lot to do with the preceding chiefs. So.
Absolutely, and you know that's a good thing to know about your story, because what we love, and I know you said sometimes you need outside people to come in, but how has the people, because you're local, you went to school in Chino,
yeah.
You're from the Inland Empire, how have local, because a lot of people who live in the area, they want to give back to their community, and they work in law enforcement, and they want to be local. How has the force embraced you, being a local guy that's worked his way up?
Well, I think the community was a huge part of it. You know, being a part of the community, I live in the city. You know, I've spent my whole adult life at Riverside PD. So when it came time for the chief position, I felt like I had a lot of support, not only from the community, but from within with the troops. And I tell people all the time, on a daily basis, I'm drawing on all 28 years of experience that I got to get through each day. You know, it's like, you're not necessarily the smartest guy in the world to become chief, that's for sure. But the experiences are invaluable, and I draw on those quite a bit.
Yeah, indeed. Now, one of the unique things, and I know you didn't get a chance to learn this, but one of the reasons we had you on the show today, because you were selected for this week's IE Hero. Now, the way this works, and this is a unique situation, the way this works, Chief, is the people vote every week. So like last week, a young lady won. She was the San Bernardino sheriff. She won. And this week, however, you were nominated. And what we're hearing is that the nomination was just based on, because we know, I guess, and you could kind of tell us more about this. The review board, you go through some kind of review board in terms of you being vetted to become an actual police chief. Talk to our audience a little bit about that process, because you have to get in front of a lot of community boards and in front of a lot of people and kind of let them know what you're going to be doing and what your plans are. So kind of let our audience know about how that process goes in terms of how you have to kind of articulate your position to the community.
Well, first of all, I didn't know about the nomination. Thank you. It's an honor. I'm kind of surprised, but thank you. As far as the selection process, you know, I think I counted by the time it was over, I probably did 8 different interviews.
Wow.
Each of them were about an hour each, you know, and, you know, the big one was a day we had 3 different panels of anywhere from 8 to 12 people on the panel.
Wow.
And it's just one after the other. And then the next round would be, you know, a smaller panel of internal folks, maybe city department heads and the city managers. And then the final 2 were just me and the city manager, you know, talking about what my vision is and where I want to lead this department and take us. You know, we talk a lot about 21st century policing model and moving the department forward. So yeah, it was a lengthy process. You know, I tease. I was telling my city manager when they first opened up, the position was open. I thought, do we really have to go through this whole
all over again
search? You know, I'm ready to go, man. You know, you want to say that, but you know, now that it's over, I feel like, you know, it's something that needed to be done. It's something that he can say and I can say that they truly did do a nationwide search, and I was the fit for the department.
Fantastic. And again, congratulations on that.
And that was one thing that I was going to say. Talk to us about your old catcher. I hear that he's doing something special as well. Isn't that something? Yeah,
you know what's funny is that baseball card that, you know, back in the day when they get a baseball card, my card and his card, they put up on a bulletin board and say, you know, what happened here, you know, who did better in their career. But Mike Piazza, he was I played with him in '88. He was my roommate that year in Salem, Oregon. And, you know, he started off, you know, so it's true that his father and Tommy Lasorda were childhood buddies.
Right.
So, and I tell people, they say, oh, well, he made it because Tommy Lasorda. I say, you can get hooked up and get signed with a friend, but you can't get hooked up if you put in the big league.
Exactly.
You know, you can get signed as a free agent or something and let you get in, but you have to prove yourself. And he came out that year in '88 where he was he was like the Sunday catcher. You know, you'd catch after, a night game on. So he'd play once a week, and then he started hitting some pretty incredible home runs. And then he said, "Oh, we'll throw him in on Tuesday," and then he quickly took over and just he became what he became. So,
right,
great stuff.
Indeed, right there. Well, again, Chief, we thank you so much. Congratulations on your selection. And again, let me tell you something. You have a great group of folks that work around you. They have been really, really on top of it, making sure they gave us your picture and gave us all the information on you. But again, like I said, everything we've heard about you has just been really positive. So keep up the good work. I mean, we desperately need that here in Riverside. Obviously, you know that more than I do. But again, thank you so much. And again, congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you both, and thank you for having me, and have a good weekend and holiday.
Fantastic. There it is right there again.
And you're a Riverside native, Eternal. What does that mean to you?
Well, no, that's a great thing. I mean, you have the police, the chief of police being a local guy from the area, and and has a sports background, which is always great.
You are tuned into the new home for IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with Coach B.
And Eternal, when it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
On Fox Sports Radio 1350 a.m. IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning, 8 a.m.
Since 1952, ThinkWise Credit Union has served education professionals and families in Riverside, San Bernardino, and Orange counties. ThinkWise gives back to the community with financial education and support to local schools and organizations. Join us today to experience a safe and comfortable alternative to banking that gives back. ThinkWise Credit Union. You'll feel good about what we can accomplish together. Visit our website at thinkwisecu.org. Member NCUA, equal housing lender, qualified members only.